Good morning and welcome. I'm Mark Holoka, Clinical Content Committee Chair. We will begin this morning with the presentation of the Carlton Fillauer Prize for Outstanding Contribution to Prosthetic Science and Practice. Don Kotz, MHA CO Fellow, Chairman of the Orthotic and Prosthetic Education and Research Foundation's Board of Directors, will present this award.
Thank you, Mark. So the Orthotic and Prosthetic Education and Research Foundation exists to be a resource for grant funding that supports the training of scientific and academic leaders, as well as grants that support an array of clinically relevant investigations to elevate the level of O&P practice within the United States. The foundation also provides oversights of the funds that make the annual Train Heart Lecture Series possible, a fantastic way to kick off the Academy Scientific Symposium. These lectures will begin in just a few minutes' time. Before these begin, I was invited to bestow one of OPERF's premier awards, the Carlton Fillauer Prize for Outstanding Contribution for Prosthetic Science and Practice. This prize, which began in 2014 and includes a $5,000 cash award, is made possible through a restricted donation from the Fillauer companies. Every 2 years, OPERF solicits nominations for this prize from the O&P community. Nominations are evaluated by a panel of prosthetic clinicians, researchers, and educators serving on the Foundation's Research Committee. One deserving candidate is then recommended to the OPERF Board of Directors for consideration. I'll now pause for a moment to explain a very important distinction. As a foundation that shares a similar mission and vision as a professional society, which is, in our case, is our academy, it is considered best practice for the foundation in question to be structured as a separate organization governed by a completely separate and independent board of directors. This is especially important considering the foundation's grant-producing role to advance research and education. Why am I pointing this out? Well, because this year the OPERF Board of Directors viewed the accomplishment of this year's Carlton Fillauer Prize winner similar to that of the Academy membership in their selection of the same individual to serve as one of the directors of the Academy's board. So I'm pleased to take this opportunity to point out this important distinction. Two different organizations with two independent boards viewing the same individual with noteworthy high regard. I'm referring to the accomplishments of Dr. Shane Werdeman. Dr. Werdeman's academic accomplishments began with him earning a Bachelor of Science degree in Physics from the Creighton University in Omaha, Nebraska. The same year he entered the profession of O&P in 2003, first as a technician. He continued his studies at the University of Nebraska before entering the program at Georgia Institute of Technology, where he earned his Master's of Science degree in 2006. He completed his prosthetic residency with the Child Amputee Prosthetics Project, Shriners Hospital for Children, Los Angeles unit, followed by work as a certified prosthetist with the Veterans Affairs Medical Center. He soon returned to his roots in Nebraska, where he matriculated into the doctoral program at the University of Nebraska Medical Center's Biomechanics Research Division, ultimately earning his PhD in November of 2013. Shane's clinical practice continued with hanger clinics, first in Omaha, followed by a move to the great state of Texas, the city of Houston, where he now serves as a senior research scientist and certified prosthetist with the Department of Clinical and Scientific Affairs Hanger Clinic. Dr. Werdeman has numerous publications, including more than 20 manuscripts in peer-reviewed journals and 3 book chapters. Considering Shane's laudable academic achievements in contributing to the body of knowledge for prosthetic sciences, and hence him being publicly honored today by OPERF, I've since learned that what really makes Shane the most proud is his level of commitment he makes to his patients. In response to my inquiry, he didn't mention this journal or that book chapter, but rather helping one of his patients achieve the goal of becoming a Paralympic triathlete, or working diligently with the local county health department to change their coverage policy to allow funding for microprocessor knees. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Dr. Shane Werdeman to be honored with this year's OPERF recipient of the Carlton Fillauer Prize. So we have the obligatory big check photo op.
Good morning. I just want to start by saying thank you to OPERF and the Carlton Fillauer Company for believing in the importance of clinician scientists. Next, and most importantly, I want to express my gratitude and thanks to my wife and my kids. They're not here today, however, everything I do and am because of their support. When Don called to inform me that OPERF would be giving me this award, I was a little bit surprised. And then he told me that I'd have a few minutes to say something to perhaps inspire the next wave of clinician scientists. That kind of caught me off guard because I still kind of consider myself as part of that next wave of clinician scientists. The truth is, I feel like I'm still on my journey to Ithaca. What I mean by that is, for those of you that aren't familiar with the Journey to Ithaca, it's a poem that really describes a long voyage to the Greek island of Ithaca. On this voyage to Ithaca, you're urged to hope the voyage is a long, adventurous journey full of discovery. You're cautioned not to expect Ithaca to give you wealth, but recognize that it's the journey that Ithaca has given you. When I was doing my PhD, there were moments where I questioned how much value there would be in investing so much time and energy into research, when really, as Don mentioned, my love is caring for patients. Truth is, data points on a scatter plot do not and will never move me the way that my patients do. I don't go home every night and talk to my wife about linear regressions and p-values. Trust me, there's plenty of p-talk in our house with a 3-year-old running around. Rather, I tell her about the patients and what I tried to do to impact their lives. When I questioned whether I should continue on this path I've chosen, it was my wife that reminded me how much I enjoy research, but even more so, how important I feel research is to helping our patients in advancing knowledge in O&P. That indeed my joy is the journey, not the destination. So to those who are considering getting into or may find themselves presented with the opportunity to participate in clinical research, I urge you to do it. If you find yourself overwhelmed with the process, do what I've done many times. Pick up the phone and seek a mentor. I have been blessed with many strong mentors. Many of them I interact with on a daily basis and probably would recognize their role as a mentor. But then even more so, there's many that every time I come to this meeting, I see, and it's really their actions and not their words that serve as a guidance for me. Know that research and clinical care are not mutually exclusive, but rather complementary. I would challenge you to remember that those data points and curves that you see throughout this week on various presentations, those aren't just data, those are patients. And the reality is nobody knows our patients better than we do. So I think it's important that we should never forget that if we don't own our research, we really don't control our profession's future. So thank you again. Have a wonderful week in New Orleans.